Chinese television.
Hi, Mr. Grossi.
Hi.
Xu Deji with China Central Television. Actually, I have two questions. The first one on Iran. We know that IAEA reached a deal with Iran, but the snapback sanction is still going on. How does that impact your engagement with the Iranian side? Did you find anything that could prove that Iran is still developing nuclear weapons? And secondly, we heard a lot of rumors that you're probably going to campaigning for the next Secretary General. Mm-hmm. Can you confirm that? And do you have any comments on that? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first of all, of course, when it comes to Iran and our work, there's a sort of a pattern that when something happens, a resolution is approved somewhere here or in Vienna. Normally, Iran has replied by reducing their cooperation with the IAEA. This is something I regret, and I have said repeatedly to our Iranian counterparts that should not be the case. Really, and this is again a case where the snapback was activated, if we can call it like that. Iran responded by saying that they would be looking at the cooperation with us. I should say, however, that they reiterated their disposition, the willingness, and their conviction to remain within the regime, the non-proliferation regime. Of course, there's a lot that could be said in terms of the real cooperation, but I think it's a very wise step to say we do not leave the NPT. Then there are the inspections and the things that they should be doing, and if they do it, all right. But I think that was important. After the 12-day war, as it is called, we had to withdraw our inspections from Iran for safety reasons, obviously, because they were there. And ever since, I have been trying to reconstruct this relationship. I'm frequently in contact with the Foreign Minister, Abbas Araghchi, and with others. We saw that in July I went to Cairo and we signed under the auspices of President Sisi and Foreign Minister Badr al-Abdelati, we signed a good understanding that would allow for our inspections to proceed. So all of this is working, not perfectly though, but it is working. You said whether we have any knowledge that they are continuing to develop nuclear weapons. No, they are not, and they were not. I want to be very clear on this, because we are often misquoted about this, and people say that we say things that we never said. Right on the contrary. Whereas we have said, and I repeat it today, that the cooperation has not been as forthcoming as it should be. We said in our last report, in our June report, that is often mentioned as something of a trigger for things that happen. In that report, for those who care to read it, which would be perhaps an interesting thing to do before talking about a report, we said clearly that Iran did not have a program. But that's that. On the other thing, yes, I will be a candidate for the position of Secretary General. It's not secret, and I think it shouldn't be. We live in a society where everything is known, and we should have a relaxed conversation about that. As to whether that affects my job, not at all. Not at all. On the contrary, some people say, well, because you are a candidate for the position, then you are going to be doing this to please a certain country. Well, if that logic was correct, then if I please this country, I will displease the other candidate. And you know that the process of the selection process is one that has certain characteristics with vetoes and votes and this and that. So, for me, it's a very clear thing, and I'm ready to discuss this with anybody. On the contrary, I think, if I may conclude with that what I do at the head of the IAEA speaks more than words and visions and promises and ideas that I could have as how good or a Secretary General could be. Just look at what I'm doing. This is me.
Next question to Reuters.
Hi, Mr. Grossi. Thank you. Michelle Nichols from Reuters. This morning you told our colleague from AP that Iran didn't appear to be actively enriching uranium. If you could just tell us a little bit about that. And then that you had recently, or the agency had recently detected some renewed movement at the nuclear sites. What sites, what movement, what's being moved? any more details there?
Yes, well, we have limited detail because our presence, going back to our Chinese colleague question, our presence has been limited. We are trying to build it back. And we are inspecting in Iran, not at every site that we should be doing it, but we are gradually coming back. We are not inspecting the struck or the stricken sites, Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow.